Hello everyone, my name is Matt Scorpion and I finally got in for Lightfall. So I'll be doing my usual back and forths about what is happening in the world, new seasonal updates and things, but I figured I'd cover this for a lot of the things that people don't know. So it's hard to tell with some of these Guardians because they're all in menus, but one of the first things you'll notice as things start having, world ranks is more, or the season pass rank isn't exactly what you'll see. That has been kind of mullied down into Guardian ranks, which, depending on how you are, you might start already at veteran. I'm not exactly sure exactly how things go through because, let's see, I'm assuming any brand new lights would start here, but then I think most of us that have been playing for quite a long time will be already at veteran, and then you can progress further as it goes. Titles have, of course, all been compressed here, as well as the seasonal challenges for the week are now here, as well as a variety of triumphs. Collections are a bit more compressed as well. I don't think the clan pages changed that much. Your character screen will have this. If you head out over here, this is essentially the build menu, which, if you weren't looking, a bunch of various builds were also removed from your gear, so be sure to slot things accordingly as required. And same thing with here. This is going to be your loadouts menu, which you will have up to 10, but you need to progress farther along to get more than 6. And then as well, you will see basically this is a run through of barrier champions and all that stuff. There's a lot of stuff that changed in the menus and inventories. You're going to see a lot less things in here because some of them got cleared out. But of course, seasonal engrams are now a thing. There's no more umbrals, and that's one of the many things. Now, of course, when you spawn in the tower, things are going to look different. I don't think this is going to it's hard to say. I literally have not touched the Lightfall campaign at all, aside from the opening cutscene. But that is the new skybox, which I believe is Kaido's occupying force for the moment. We see even more Elixni and Cabal on the tower because I guess our work together is a little cemented. We also have the Ironwood tree here, which I would believe is a memento to fallen allies. But hey, to the Destiny veterans in the room, they're happy they just have another climbable tree that they can climb. And while I'm here, is there anything up here, or is this just a tree to climb? Okay, there's that. But if you actually didn't do it as well, there is a more arcade memory, which, hang on, let me adjust voices or dialogue to actually hear what this is.
Even departed sparks, like Cades, still leave a trace in this luminous web we call the light.
Oh, well, that's nice. But,
What is it that Cade says?
oh, there's a lot of words
Teamwork
here.
makes the dream work.
But I'll actually, that's a nice little Cade thing, but I'll continue it with that later. But adjusting once again, let's see, turning off our dialogue. So if you visit with Zavala, Shax, and all them, there's going to be some new things, because if you visit actually Zavala, don't know if he's got any dialogue for you, but the focusing is now a thing where if you have engrams from him, you can focus a lot of stuff that's currently available. And we do have all of the playlist weapons that is currently earnable as well. And then prior weapons that are currently in rotation. So Malicious Birthright, Mindbenders, Wendigo, Hung Jury, that all returns, Swarm and Buzzard, as well as Hung Jury Adept. I guess that's the weapon for sure that's in the rotations this week is Hung Jury, in case anyone's knowing. And of course, if you didn't know, Buzzard is returning from Season of Dawn. This has been freshly redone. And Swarm is also returning to us again, a high impact frame machine gun. That is something that has come back to us, but more on that later. But, you know, going forward. So there is the reworked system. He now has ranks very similar to before, with focusing as well as legacy gear that you can get. And I'm assuming this is focusing of stuff that is no longer currently available at all, and of course need engrams and a certain amount of stuff. So there's still access to stuff not in rotation. It's just that's the old version, and we likely won't have a new version until going forward. And so you'll see a lot of stuff like that in the tower, but aside from that, there's not many other changes that I haven't exactly seen about. I'm sure there's more changes physically, but I wanted to get into other things throughout the world. So when you actually go into destinations, you'll obviously see things have rotated around a bit up front. And of course, things might be a little bit different here and there, but most of our tabs will remain the same. Now, one thing I want to mention is currently King's Fall is not farmable for Pinnacles anymore. That is no longer the week featured raid that is now into the rotation. So after we go through the rotation and Vow of Disciple has its turn, King's Fall will be next, and that will be the Pinnacle farmable thing. So if you wanted to farm for Touch of Malice, now is the opportunity. So, but when do we get a farmable one? Well, that will be the Nightmare or Root of Nightmares available in Neptune or wherever it does once the campaign goes live. And of course, you see now as well, everything is kind of rotating around a bit and changed for the new directory. Everything's still here. We just got an additional rotation, so don't worry about anything disappearing. They're done taking away stuff. Now, there is a rotation of a few powerfuls. Currently, there's not a lot. So the only exact powerfuls we have is the Last Wish raid, and we don't even have a dungeon powerful. I suppose that's because we're going to be getting a new dungeon here soon. Unless, was it Grasp of Avarice? I didn't see it in here. Let's see, it's not Grasp, and... oh, it's currently Prophecy. Well, that's unusual. I'm not think that's what's... it might have just continued. It's hard to say, because Dreamy City is the first one, but Prophecy is definitely not the first one in the rotation, so we'll have to look into that soon. But aside from that, there is, of course, a rewriting to other things. Quest tab has been expanded for Lightfall and previous other things in seasons as per scene. We still have that. The store hasn't exactly changed that much. But, let's see. What else was something I wanted to see? Let's see. There was the main page. Journey collections. Okay, that is everything we saw as before. So that is some of the ways the world has changed. Now, I want to keep an eye on some things as well. Currently, there's a lot of like I mentioned with King's Fall, there is some rotations that came out. So, Wellspring is no longer a master, or a master Wellspring will not drop anything. There's no 100k for weekly campaign missions in the Throne World anymore. Preservation is not Pinnacle. Those are just activities. Those will rotate to something on Neptune soon, I believe. So, it will likely take campaign progression, but at the same time, you will probably get a new Pinnacle, a new weekly mission rotation, that thing, from Lightfall once you continue far enough. So, if you're worried about losing activity sources, that is just that. Now, we don't, I think, exactly have that weekly exotic mission rotator just yet. I think that was something mentioned as Season of the Deep, so do not be surprised if that is gone. But at the same time, there's, of course, the other things to go about and do in your business with, things. Oh, and apparently Hawthorne's challenge has changed to giving accommodations, giving and receiving, at least. So that's going to be easier for now. But aside from that, that's pretty much how the world has changed going into things. Of course, this is with zero Lightfall touch. This is just some of the stuff you can see on the surface of what's going around. So I will also warn you, this is kind of like the yearly thing. I know we only have at least one more year planned, but expect any of the new pinnacles and gear that or new pinnacles and activities that we can do now, expect that to be gone come, well, next year. And, oh, I forgot to mention as well, the Helm has been officially wiped out. Currently, it is just the Defiant stuff, which is something I haven't gotten into. But like warned before, all of the Helm is wiped out, so there's only the current season stuff. Any of the season from last seasons are no longer there. My name is Matt Scorpion. I will see you in the next one.